Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our new edition of Big Brother 25 live feed spoilers. How's everybody feeling? How's everybody doing? I understand that it was an emotional double eviction. Maybe some people out there have went and gotten like a big bag of Halloween candy and you're just like dumping it all in your mouth. Nobody's getting any trick-or-treater candy now because we're all eating it all.
We're all doing it unanimously, like Blue being evicted. There's been a lot of unanimous votes this season, so why not all of us unanimously eat all the Halloween candy before Halloween rolls around?
This is the new rule, everybody. We are no longer able to think for ourselves. We must all do something as a collective, or we cannot do it at all. We'll take you through everything that happened in the double eviction
Mm-hmm.
yesterday. We'll set the stage for the new HOH.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen? Quite possibly one of the most ridiculous HOH letter discussions of all time we will have later on in this video. Just buckle up. That's my only bit of advice that I have leading into that.
All right, I've got my hard hat
Okay,
on then.
yeah, you might need it for a lot of this video,
Oh
actually.
dear.
Okay, all right. Well, before we do move further, hit that subscribe button. We are now in the home stretch. We can see the light at the end of this tunnel. We are driving in that direction. So, by hitting that subscribe button, you make sure you're up to date on all the latest from
Mhm.
Big Brother 25. You are also supporting us to be able to continue to make all of this content. And if you are in that Halloween spirit, while you are downing that giant bag of candy, why not watch some American Horror Stories? There were 4 episodes that came on to Hulu
Yeah.
yesterday. We watched them all and did videos on all of them yesterday. What a day that was.
And also, speaking of Halloween, don't forget that on Monday is our Halloween live stream where you can see Matt dressed up as a vampire. It's another way to support the channel over on our Patreon. Thank you to everyone who has come over to support us. It helps us to continue to make Big Brother videos for you guys.
I have been practicing my vampire voice. This is a
Okay, well, it's a surprise
yeah, it's a
for the live
surprise.
stream.
It's a surprise, but it is being practiced as we speak. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, as I said at the beginning of all of this, Blue was evicted first
Yeah.
unanimously.
She was told right before the show, and no real surprise there because we're not allowed to have like nice things like an actual blind side on a double eviction show. And after the fact, she was like claiming that she was about to go after Jag soon anyway, and she never indicated as much of this on feeds. Okay, I don't want to just come on here and just look like I'm hating on Blue all the time. It's just that I cannot stand Blue's diary room voice, like how she's like a completely different person when the cameras are on her, and it's just I don't know if I believe that she was gonna go after Jag soon or not, or if she's saying this to just save face. I'm fine with Blue leaving. That's all I have to say about that.
Okay, so the next HOH was Bowie Jane. She won another Q&A with, a comp tiebreaker.
Okay, so Bowie Jane. Bowie Jane. Okay. There's there's talk about Matt and Jack wanting Bowie to win this competition in advance, so they would both be able to play in the final 5 HOH, and Jag not able to play in HOH at this point anyway.
Hmm.
So there was already kind of a plan in the works. Like it's hard on a Q&A though to be like, I'm actively going to throw this or I'm actively going to do whatever. It's just funny to me that both of the HOHs that Bowie Jane has won have both been ones where she has to win a tiebreaker, and I'm still not over what she wrote down on that first one. By the way, I don't care the reason for it. I'm not over it, and I'm not sure I ever will be.
Yeah, and I mean, Bowie ends up nominating Felicia and America, and I've already got my hard hat on,
Okay.
and I know that there's a lot of people that were like, "Oh man, why didn't she take that shot at Jag?" And they're in an alliance together, they're working together. It doesn't make sense for her to do so at this point, and especially since she's now won 2 HOHs. Yes, one of them she seemingly tried to throw, but won anyways. Now I think she feels like she's capable of beating him in an HOH. I think her confidence has come up. She has shown that she's pretty loyal to people. Like, if you do her dirty, she'll hold on to that for the whole game. So I think this makes sense because I think she also feels like if she's self-aware enough,
Mhm.
if it's the three,
Yeah.
they're probably both going to take Bowie Jane because they're going to be able to beat her. And I wonder if she kind of deep down knows that they're going to take her and that maybe she'll be able to give a better speech. Now she has two HOHs. People care about comp wins these days. You know, she's got some resume.
I think the big fundamental question here, especially at the final six during a double eviction, is do you want the safest path to the end of the game, or do you want the riskier path that may increase your odds of winning should you make it there? And that's where things get tricky because this is something that we all kind of have a tendency to forget is that the money you get for winning second place on Big Brother, like that's not no small thing. Like that's a decent amount of money. And
Hmm.
if Bowie does think like you suggested, okay, you know what? I can probably get second place regardless, then fine. I understand it. I just want more I want more killer instinct at this point in the game where you're going to be willing to do something maybe a little bit more daring to get something huge that is out there.
This is the thing, though. She is taking out Jag at this point, and then she can't play in the next HOH. She has to hope that Matt wins and doesn't take her out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a really bigger risk because then you've got, she's not really aligned with America. She's not really that aligned with Foolish or Suri. It doesn't make sense. I said it. I said what I said. You can come for me in the comments. I think she made the right choice. I know there's lots of people that want Jag out. My dad is not one of them.
And I have already said that, me and your father are in an alliance and being Team Jag. I will say this. It was a smart move to not put up Jag before the veto because like you don't want to run the risk of him winning the veto after you already nominated him and then you got to deal with also the fallout of that.
So Matt wins the veto. Everybody gets to play, and he leaves the nominations the same, which is not surprising, I think, to anybody.
Now, okay, here's where things get interesting. We talked about this earlier in the week that Matt and Suri had this conversation where Matt said that he would consider targeting Jag eventually, and then Suri passes that information on to Felicia, who of course then passes it on to Jag, and we have Big Brother telephone that's going on. Matt did confirm in the diary room that he would consider doing this at some point, and he thinks he has a much better chance of beating Suri than he does Jag, which it might be true. It's hard to say because Suri is very well spoken, and Suri will have a great story and all of that sort of thing. Where this is where it all gets tricky for Bowie Jane because at this point, if I'm Bowie Jane, I would want to take Jag out because it is a huge move that I think I would get a lot of applause for, but you have to convince Matt then to do it. And listen, I know there's a lot of hate out there for Jag. You alluded to some of it. I think people are tired of predictability in the game. You want to see chaos. Like we are team chaos. Like I want to see things that are fun and dramatic. Matt made the right move here because
Yes.
this is a situation where if Jag goes at this point, Matt's easily the biggest target left. And if he is ever vulnerable at this point after that, they will get rid of him. I understand Matt's logic of, okay, I don't want to go to the end with Jag. I wouldn't want to go to the end with Jag either, but I certainly wouldn't want to leave myself exposed potentially at Final Five and Final Four at this point.
No, he made the right choice. He really did.
It can be the right choice, and it can also still be annoying for everybody who wants to see a little bit more chaos. That is okay.
Yeah, Matt is team chaos over here.
Yeah.
I've always been like, yeah, it's fine if it's good gameplay. I don't want to see people just creating chaos and then they're like, running their own game into the ground. I like watching really good gameplay, and these were the right moves.
I think at the end of the day, having it be Felicia versus America, with there being a Final 5 HOH and a
Mhm.
Final 4 HOH both coming, there is theoretically still time. And Matt can say, you know what, I did just beat Jag in this veto. So technically, Jag is not completely, impenetrable. Cameron was beating him all the time back when Cameron was in the game and Cameron was winning everything. So there's still that possibility that is out there.
So we end up in this situation where America is voted out unanimously.
It's a real okay. This is the craziest thing. Credit to Dingo Hamster Watch for this stat because this
Yeah.
blew my mind. It's one thing to actually think about it as you're watching the game go along, but see it on paper. There have only been 4 dissenting votes this entire season, and over the other 100+ votes have all been on the right side. Like, this is such cowardice by these players, a real refusal to mix things up, to cause some problems, even throw hinky votes. I understand that this is probably a good strategy to not show your cards, to make sure that you're insulated in the larger group. Groupthink works in Big Brother, but
Yes.
can we have some more people play the game moving forward who aren't caring about? Can we have some more agents of just like pure ridiculousness who are clueless? This is why I am always fine with a couple of just pure disaster players, like, like the Devons who we've mentioned, like Fessy who flipped, like just people who don't always know what they're doing. There is value in that.
There is.
Okay, one other thing that was kind of interesting going into the double eviction is that there was all this talk like yesterday morning about, oh, maybe Felicia is going to be the possible target in the double over America just because of Feliciaing herself throughout the house, throwing. But I think this verb basically means to throw everybody in the house under the bus at all times and somehow think that it's going to actually help you in the game. And Felicia is she's such a mess, but she's also but Felicia is the representation of Team Chaos at this point, and it's funny because Felicia's your person as opposed to mine.
Yeah, no, it is.
It's just, I'm not bad that Felicia's still in the game. Yeah, America brought a lot of drama. I think just at the end of this, America she had to win something. Like, she had to do something a little bit bigger. We've said this a million times. You don't have to win comps to win the game, but
No.
she just found herself in a spot where she actually needed to, and she could just never pull that out. And because she is a gamer and people knew it was the right move to get rid of her instead of Felicia at this point, especially because Felicia has thrown Sari under the bus so much, and now you are leaving Sari and Felicia in the house together.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
Yeah.
With America gone, with Blue gone, Matt is really the only possible ally that Sari has left, unless you do want to somehow consider Felicia as an ally of Sari, which I am certainly not willing to do at this point.
No. Speaking of Matt has won the head of a household, and I feel like we said this in the last video, and I, was still standing true. I mean, he has started winning some more stuff, and again, you don't have to win to win the game.
Yeah.
But I was starting to feel like if Matt ends up at the end of the game with either, Suri or Jag, like last week.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was going to be able to beat either of them because Suri has been the person that's been really protecting Matt. And then Jag on the other side has really been protecting Matt and winning and protecting him. That if at the end he's sitting there, that most of his speech, and I still have my hard hat on for you guys in the comments, would be that he had been protected a lot of this game. And while that is a strategy to get to the end, I also want to know what moves you can take credit for, whether it is a win or a strategic move or something like that.
This is what's going to make this week so critical for Matt, because this is the first time he'll actually have complete authority on who he wants to put up, how he wants to go about it. Obviously, we're at Final 5. The veto winner is going to mean a lot, but he's already said after the eviction show, like before the HOH even happened, he was reassuring Sari that she would be okay, and we know that he and Sari are very close. He thinks he can beat Suri. And so now it gets to this really interesting question. If you're Matt, do you even put Suri up? Because Felicia seems like a given at this point.
Yeah.
But if you put up Bowie Jane, then Bowie Jane is going to be like, what? I thought we were, I thought we were a group. I didn't nominate you when I was HOH.
Oh, if he puts up Bowie Jane, unless he talks to her to be like, listen, you're just the pawn, and she agrees, he's lost that vote. Like, she really, to me, throughout this game, has been like, if you burn me, I remember it. I remember forever.
Yes.
And she feels like somebody who then would go to jury and be like, good luck, Matt, you don't have my vote. You really have to be smooth with what you're doing with Bowie Jane.
Yeah, I agree. She's somebody who's going to take it personally. And that's it's a big risk to take at this point, given that, Bowie has won, as you said, a couple of HOHs. She's shown that she's capable of winning HOH in the right setting, but he is going to have to burn someone. And, putting up Jag at this point, like we'll talk about it maybe after the veto, but I just think you can't put Jag up before the veto because that's going to cause really big problems if Jag ends up winning. Like if you do want to go after Jag at this point, you can, and it's a move that could help Matt in front of the jury. It's a big move that he would have taken somebody out, but this is where, okay, I'm gonna get my hard hat on now.
Oh gosh, okay, here we go.
I would not take out Jag this week if I'm Matt, and it's just
no, I wouldn't either.
I know a lot of people are probably gonna want this, and I understand it, but Matt can't play in the Final Four HOH. So basically, if you get rid of Jag, you have a 1 in 4 chance of winning that Final Four veto. And there's usually a memory component. Sometimes there's a physical component, and that will help him. But still, you're running a big risk there because if you're on the block at Final Four and anybody else in the game has that veto, like they would be silly to not take you out at that point. Like you're the obvious biggest physical threat. You're the only threat at that point in the game. I think you've just beaten Jag in an HOH. You did beat him in the veto. You can beat Jag. I would go with Jag to the Final Four. And then at that point, all bets are off. If you want to get rid of him, then go ahead, go for it.
Yeah, 100%. This is not the time.
Okay, now let's get ridiculous, everybody. Okay, a little bit of story time here leading up to all of this. They do the HOH room reveals like really, really late in the night, especially last night. And at a certain point, we got to get some sleep sometime. So woke up this morning and we found out that Matt's HOH letter was supposedly from Riley. When I saw this, I thought this was one of those fake accounts that's posting like fake updates from the Big Brother live feeds, and I didn't think this was real. Then I went back and looked. Matt's HOH letter was from Riley, and he has a picture of Riley with his mom. The other house guests are freaking this. I can't contain myself with how just absolutely insane this is. It's also, okay, people really gonna get mad at me now. Is this fair? Let me just throw this out here for a second. We already know how much Matt is influenced by Riley. Riley is pretty much Matt's driving force for this entire game, despite the fact that they knew each other for a mere matter of weeks. And, she was never even like, I want to be with you for the rest of my life or anything in the house. He's really going to buy into this a lot with this letter. He's going to think now that, okay, we're soulmates. We're going to get married after the show. Like, he's going to be so far down the Riley hole. Is this going to influence his game on some in some way to get all of this?
Yes, I think that it is a little bit, I don't want to say unfair, because I think that your HOH letter is going to be something that's going to motivate you no matter what, right? You get a letter from your mom, your sister, your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, whoever, that gives you that push to be like, yeah, you can do it. You write at the end, you can do it. You can go. But getting a letter from someone else that was sharing the same experience with you, that was in the house, is very different. Like, I was kind of like, where is the letter then from his actual family or friends, or like, how did this end up coming together? Because I assume, and
Hmm.
you know, that before you go in, that you have a list of people that you're like, these are
Yeah.
the people I want my letters from. They're not going to just be like, who is Matt's mom? Let's contact her. That's going to be
Yeah.
like, okay, these are the people I want letters from. And Riley wouldn't have been on his list because he didn't know who she was. So that means somebody sneaky in production was just like, we're going to do this.
They are thirsty over. I don't know why they're thirsty. You've had Blue and Jared, and
Yeah.
by the way,
And Erica and Corey.
what if Cerise HOH letters from Jared? No, I
Goodness.
don't think that
No,
would.
they wouldn't do
No, they
that.
wouldn't.
That's not fair.
No, they wouldn't do
That's
that.
really not fair.
What if it's just this is my whole thing though, is just that if they're gonna do this, like what else are they going to do moving forward? It opens the floodgates. What if Felicia's HOH letter is from Isom, who is just like, how dare you take me out of this game? This letter is a curse upon the future of your game. No, it's just so ridiculous. By the way, Max, since I know you're watching this video, I know you saw this picture of Riley with your mom. I saw a picture online of Riley with Jag's brother, and this is also a real picture. So this does not mean anything. Do not, maybe.
Listen, it means something. I think it means something because the production went to Riley and was like, listen,
That's
like, you know, and I'm sure she's watched some of the show to see that he has, you know, still been thinking about her and talking about her. Maybe she had a connection with him too, in a way that is stronger than everybody thinks that it might be. Maybe she doesn't know what it's going to be like outside the house. So maybe she's just kind of keeping a little bit to herself because she doesn't know for sure, right? Like, whatever. But if production's going to come to her and be like, listen, Matt really likes you. We thought it would be kind of a fun thing to have you be the letter. If she wasn't into him, she would have just said no, and nobody would have ever known the difference. They would have just given him a letter from his dad or mom or whoever, right? So clearly there's got to be some interest.
This is all just really destroying my take that she had more chemistry with Jag than she did Matt, which I don't think they can make that argument anymore.
Yeah, I mean, maybe she's wants to see what happens.
Maybe so. But okay. Well, the last thing here, just because I don't want to think about Riley's HOH letter anymore. Jag and Bowie have discussed amongst themselves that if Sari is up on the block, that after veto, they tell Matt that they're going to get Sari out of the game, which is pretty diabolical, but it's also the right move. And they should do it. They should isolate Matt's options. They should get rid of the obvious bigger player between Sari and Felicia. Like, this feels like a no-brainer.
Yes, getting rid of Felicia, I don't know why this is the choice at this point.
Yeah, like the only reason to keep Sari is if you're just trying to placate Matt. It's the Final Four. Why would you care about that at this point?
No, and Matt can't play next time. So like it's time for them to really push for what they need.
Okay, well, that's what we got for today in the Big Brother 25 house. We will be back to discuss more of what happens. Maybe things will be unpredictable. Closing message though, don't ever get too hyped about double evictions. They often disappoint for those who are expecting a lot out of them.
Yeah, I mean, I still think the right decisions were made. Like, yeah, it's not as exciting, but you know, us as a viewer is not the same as them in there playing for all this money. Like, they're not there for entertainment, they're there to win money. So always keep that in mind, Team Chaos.
It is hard for Team Chaos to contain itself.
I understand.
It just wants to like the aliens. Okay, well, anyway, hit that subscribe button for more Big Brother updates. Thank you as well to our patrons for your support.
Thank you.
That Halloween live stream is coming, and we will see you guys here next time.